Hello and welcome to the Wheel of Time Rewind podcast. I am your host, Dylan Stoll, and I'm joined by my friend, Michael Whitford.
Hey.
So, as you may have noticed, we took a little break last week, and so Mike and I had talked about it, and we figured during the off-season here, we're going to try to do a podcast twice a month, probably every other week, but
2 weeks.
We're going to be cutting back a little bit on the content here, just because we're going to be getting trickles of information slowly over the next year for the season 2 of Wheel of Time. But what we're doing today is we are going to be going through the different locations that we're seeing in the show here, and we are going to be giving them a little tagline, giving them a little place you're most likely to, and just have a little fun with it and see what we can come up with for this. But before we go any farther, just going to go into the usual reminders here. If you'd like to get in contact with the show, you can email us at wheeloftimerewind@gmail.com. Or if you're on Instagram and Twitter, you can get at us there at WOT Rewind. And speaking of that, we have a fun announcement here that I know that I'm excited about. I know Mike's excited about this, but we have officially passed 5,000 downloads.
What?
So, just going to give a little self-congratulatory clap there, because when we first started this podcast, there was no way we thought we were going to get even a trickle of the amount that we've gotten. So, thank you very much if you're listening to this.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate you.
Thank you. It's all because of you.
Right, and we just hope that you enjoy the ramblings of two Wheel of Time fans. So,
yes. Speaking of that, Wheel of Time, I guess really the only big news that's come out recently, and we talked about this before we started recording, is that Wheel of Time is officially the most popular TV show of 2021. So last year, because now, it's 2022 here, it was officially named the most popular, beating out the likes of
Book of Boba
Fett, Hawkeye, and all these other really amazing series. And so that's really exciting. And hopefully, season 2 comes in and makes it even better.
Right. Hopefully it's a good motivation for Rafi and the rest of the people in charge over at Amazon to just make the show even better than what it was before.
Give him more episodes. Give him longer time. All that would be great.
Yes.
It'd be really cool if they came back and they were like, we're going to do some re-releases of some of the episodes, director cut episodes or something like that. That'd be cool.
That'd be so good. But
I don't think they've ever really done that with like a TV show.
I don't know either. But keeping us on track and diving ahead here. So we are going to visit the Two Rivers first here.
Oh, yeah. So we should probably just say that we're pulling the locations off of Amazon's official list of locations. So we're not taking any book places. We're not doing like Bear Lane or any other locations, White Bridge or anything like that. We just went with locations in the show that were specified. And we removed a couple that were very
temporary
not
locations.
Specific, like
a
couple forests and stuff like that. Even though some cool stuff happened there, we were just like, you know what? Let's just keep it to cities and towns, at least from officially listed from the TV show.
Right. And so with that in mind, like we're going to go to the Two Rivers and not to Emmons Field, because I know I really want to rewatch the whole series again and just to listen to see if there's a single mention of Emmons Field or not. But we know that there's a mention of Two Rivers, and that's what it's officially listed as on Amazon Prime's companion there in the Explore section. You see a map of Wheel of Time. We're just kind of following along on that trail here. So jumping into the Two Rivers, Mike, what is your tagline for this area?
Two Rivers, most likely to get caught stealing sheep and getting your head split open by a Trolloc.
All right. So for me, I'm going to...
Oh, no, wait. I came up with a better one. The Two Rivers, where your food bites back. No, that's stupid. I'll keep the first one. You go.
All right. Leaving us with some quality moments here. Yes. All right. So I'm going to say that the Two Rivers is the place you're most likely to find some woolheads. And keep it short and simple there.
That's fair.
All right, so where are we going to next on this full journey?
So Tarn Ferry, and mine for Tarn Ferry is not going to be a most likely to. It's going to be come to Tarn Ferry. If you don't like the food, we'll throw you in a whirlpool.
Nice. You kind of took right where I was going with that one there. I was going.
I mean, there's not much else to say.
Right.
You know,
I'm going right for the whirlpool. All right, so I was gonna say Tarn Ferry. If the Trollocs don't get you, the whirlpool will.
I like that. You know, thinking back on Two Rivers, I really could have gone a couple different directions with that.
Could have mentioned their tabak,
like sheeps, tabak, the braids. Two Rivers, where women run the world. You know, something like that would have been pretty cool too. Anyway, our next location we're going to is Shadar Logoth.
Okay, so what are we gonna go with for Shadar Logoth here, Mike?
Oh man, it would definitely have to be something like, "Please come to Shadar Logoth. Please come. Just stay. Just one night. Just stay, please. Please. We'll pay you to come and stay
forever."
Yeah.
All right, I was gonna go with something like Shadar Logoth, where Mashadar leaves with you, or something like that.
You're never alone.
Yeah, Shadar Logoth, you're never alone.
All right, and then we're going to after that, you know, obviously the group split up, and so we're following Matt and Rand as they get to Breen Spring. That's where we met Tom and Dana. Breen Spring. You better not steal anything, or you'll get a dagger in the eye.
All right, so Breen Spring. When you think she's hitting on you, but really just wants to kill you.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Oh, Dana. One of the best.
For real, like, can we just talk about for a second, like, how great, like, a little one episode, one and done off character was in the series? Like, she was really one of the highlights of the show.
Oh, yeah. She was definitely one of my favorite characters.
That's why I drafted her.
I know, and I think that's why you won, too.
So did I actually win the poll?
Yeah, it was like by 2%.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
People commented on it, and they had said, like, the only problem with mine was that I didn't have Dana on there and stuff like that. So
if you would have gotten the team you wanted,
yeah, then, I would have definitely cleaned up there.
Yeah, nice. That's good to know.
All right. Our next location is Ghealdan. We're always at war. No,
that sucked.
So hard to come up with these on the fly.
Yeah, so we're doing this all on the fly, which makes this extra difficult.
I mean, you know, I think Ghealdan would have to be something like, we always have multiple voices. I don't know. So, I'm going to remove this part.
Okay. So what I was...
You can go first on this one.
So for Ghealdan, I'll kick us off here. And what I was going to say is, don't listen to the voices in your head.
All right. I think I would go with most likely to leave your kingdom and follow a man across the country. Dragon swarms, paradise. All right. And next we're getting to Tar Valon.
Oh, God, you said it.
Tar Valon.
You said Tar Valon.
I know.
So I refuse to comply, going with Tar Valon to the end of the days.
Yeah. Just keep going with Tar Valon.
You almost said it again, didn't you?
I know, I almost did. Listen, you remember that one episode. Man, couldn't get that out. All right. Tar Valon, most likely to end up in an Aes Sedai's schemes or plots.
Very true. Very true. All right. So Tar Valon. Let's see. All right. There we go. So Tar Valon. Place you're most likely to end up in white. Go in there, leave a novice. Never come out.
Yeah, there's some truth to that. Definitely some truth to that. All right, then we had a small stint in Tyr where
You saw Swan.
Obviously, yeah, Swan's childhood, and then when her and Maureen went back. Come to Tyr. We don't have tears, just lots of fish.
All right, I was going to say, Tyr. Oh God, what do I want to say here?
Something about the power, maybe.
No, I mean, I was kind of going with like.
Silver Pike.
No. Okay. Nah. All right. Tyr. Place you're most likely to find the dragon's fang.
Yeah, there you go. Better not show any of the power there. All right, and then we went to the ways. Watch out. The Black Wind is going to tell everyone your dirty history. Or the ways. Future set for Mean Girls 2.
There we go. That's it.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go with the ways. Yes, they're talking about you.
That one's really good. All right, and then we go to Fal Dara. Fal Dara. Chivalry isn't dead. Or is it?
Fal Dara. Place most likely to disappoint you.
Oh, ouch.
When you think about all the stuff in episode 7 and episode 8 that we didn't like, most of it happened in Fal Dara. So
I know. It was, yeah. Oh, man. Fal Dara was disappointing. But it had some cool moments, but yeah, it was overall disappointing. But all right, and the last location would be the Blight. Now this one could go so many different routes with. I was going to go with the Blight. Come in, take a sleep. Don't worry about the trees. They bite just a little bit.
All right, I was going to say the Blight. Place most likely to need a gardener.
Where's that green man?
Yeah, where's the green man when you need him? So another quick little update for you guys here is like we were still doing, or at least I'm still doing my Wheel of Time reread here. And so
I'm slowly doing.
Yeah, you're slowly going on. It's cool. But I just finished up book 6, A Lord of Chaos. And so I am very excited to be already almost halfway done with book 7, Crown of Swords, and working my way through there. And I just got to the part where we get introduced to Cadsuane. So
Ooh,
I'm excited
cool
to keep pressing on from there and keep rocking.
People are kind of polarized on her.
I like Cadsuane
from some comments I've seen. I do too.
Yeah.
I think she brings. I feel like she wasn't even really explained enough in the series.
I would agree with you.
So I'd be excited to see what they do with her if they bring her into the TV show, because I feel like they would flesh her out a bit more if they do decide to take her in. And I think the same thing for some other characters. Like, they're going to be very choosy with who they bring into the series, and they're going to flesh them out more. So I would be excited to see what they do with Varen, and maybe when they get to, like, later on, hopefully if they're still going at that time, some of her backstory. It would be really interesting to see her character kind of develop and like how she came to the decision she came to. And
no, so not even joking around. Like, it's so funny you say that, because like I'm sitting here reading the book and I'm like, I kind of wish there was like a Cadsuane prequel where you could kind of hear more about some of the adventures she went on, because like she's described as, aside from being like super powerful, like being the standard all Aes Sedai are measured to, but like being adventurous, not wanting to be in a tower, and like refusing to be a sitter, and like turning down basically all these offers of power to stay in Tar Valon, and being like, no, I want to go out and have fun and enjoy my life and do something meaningful. But there's actually not necessarily
and she
news.
wasn't really mentioned really prior to.
She's in New Spring,
those books.
But yes,
yeah,
she's a
but
new
I mean,
character.
you know what
yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
she really wasn't it, and you could tell like. Obviously, she was probably a character that Jordan was like later on, like, oh, like this would be a really cool character to have.
right.
And,
yeah,
but at the same time, like she's so legendary and everything else. Why isn't she mentioned more throughout some of those Tar Valon, episodes, if you will, where like Nynaeve and Egwene were in Tar Valon and all that.
Right.
So,
well, like even early on
really
in the series, where it's like, oh, Elaine and Nynaeve and Egwene, they're the most powerful Aes Sedai since insert name here, which is like, Swan and Moraine. But yeah, they should have been like, oh, since Cadsuane. I think it's because she was a newer character. Like Jordan was like, oh yeah, of course, yeah, Cadsuane. She's always been there. But speaking of Cadsuane too, we got on a little Cadsuane tangent there. There is like actually some fan casting for her already. And because the fan reaction to it was so strong, they've actually reached out and they're in negotiations to talk with this woman already to play Cadsuane.
Oh, I saw some of that on Twitter and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Was that woman from The Expanse? Her name is Shorea Agdasholo. I completely butchered that name. But
okay.
I do like her from what I've seen her in so far. Like I like her in The Expanse. Okay. She's a cool woman, and she has like that presence to kind of just like command the room too. So, and that's going to be necessary whenever whoever they get to play Cadsuane.
Yeah, so that would be really cool if they brought her in and did some more of her adventures and stuff. Yeah,
it's so funny because we like got on here to talk about the locations and make a couple little funny jokes about them, and like we spend probably just as long talking about Cadsuane.
Who is really awesome. I mean, I would love to do some deep... Maybe that's something we can touch on, too, is doing some deep dives on some of these side characters.
It's a good idea, yeah.
Even some of the ones maybe they omitted a little bit more and, like, kind of dig into really their characters. That being said, I do also want to go ahead and kind of share with everyone that either our next episode here in February or our first episode in March, we're going to have a guest on the show. We're having our friend Sean come on with us. Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully, it works out. He is in a different time zone than us, very different time zone than us. So, we're trying to figure out a situation, and so hopefully that works out. And the reason we want to bring him on is because he is a big book nerd like us, but he's never read Wheel of Time. He's read a ton of other fantasy series, though. A lot of ones that Dylan and I probably have not read. Actually, and he does some of his own writing, and he's done a blog and stuff. So I'd be really interested to talk to him about some of that and get some of that information with him. And I've kind of asked him to watch the series as someone who's enjoyed the genre and enjoyed those shows and also those books, and kind of give us his perspective on it without any of the book knowledge kind of hindering his view. And it'll be really fun to kind of be able to have that conversation with him and see if what made sense, what didn't make sense. And so that's going to be kind of, that'll be a really fun show to do, I think.
I'm really looking forward to that. I know.
Yeah. We'll have to see how the timing works. Because again, he is in a very different time zone. So looking forward to having him on, and maybe some other people in the future as well. So,
right, but as far as this show here goes, we're going to be wrapping this up and keeping it nice and short for you guys, keeping the off season fun and light, and hopefully a little sprinkling of more knowledge here and there. I do like what you said, Mike, about doing some character deep dives. I think that could make for some really good episodes as well. Was there anything else you wanted to mention or talk about on this episode before we close it out?
No, I'm just looking forward to hopefully us getting some more news, maybe a teaser trailer at some point. I mean, they should be wrapping up shooting or almost done with shooting here shortly, and hopefully we'll get some more information on the number of episodes and everything else coming out of Amazon. But I think they're probably going to stay kind of quiet.
Yeah.
Up until at least Lord of the Rings comes out and sort of dominates everything. But, and I mean, all this promotional stuff they've sent out for Lord of the Rings has looked really cool so far, so I'm excited for that show as well.
All right, so with all of that said, We'll see you all at the next turning of the wheel. Goodbye.
Goodbye.